Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to everyone who is joining live tonight. Hello to everyone in the chat. And thank you so much to everyone who is catching the replay. I appreciate all of you so much. Happy Wednesday. I'm excited to see where our conversation is going to go tonight. Last week, we talked a lot about hobbies and friendships as an adult. So if you missed last week's live, I will make sure to leave it linked below. You can check it out. Whether this is your first time joining us live, we hang out every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern to chat about all things goals, planning, and whatever else ends up coming up. So let's start with our question. Some of you are already answering it in the chat because you know what is coming. What are you drinking? If you are part of the replay fam, let us know in the comments what you are drinking. But to everyone who is here live, hello, I am having, if you saw my Instagram post, I'm having a pineapple margarita to celebrate the fact that the wine glasses are back in stock. So there was a bunch of the wine glasses from the first order that I placed of the Plan with Laken merchandise that was back ordered, and they finally arrived. And so the wine glasses are back in stock. If you have not been able to place an order, you've been waiting for them to come back, that link is down below and you can grab the wine glass. I don't have the lid on it right now. The straw does not come with it, by the way, because it is meant typically for wine, and you don't drink wine out of a glass with a straw. But I have a pineapple margarita in here, but it is using that Ritual zero proof tequila alternative. It's good. It needs something sweet. I thought the pineapple juice was going to be sweet enough. And so I don't know if it's just because that zero proof tequila is a little bit more bitter, sour, spicier than regular tequila, or I also normally put triple sec in my margaritas, which is alcoholic, and I'm having an alcohol-free drink. And so I wasn't going to add triple sec to this drink. So I need to find like kind of a substitute for triple sec. I don't know if that's maybe like just orange juice and sugar. I don't know. I need to play around a little bit more with this recipe, but it's still good. I'm still going to drink it. So let's see what we've got. We've got a lot of water, Diet Dr. Pepper. Ooh, that peach crown always sounds good. I do also have my water here as well. Yes. Twinning with Lynn and her small progress water bottle. I do still have my water here as well. This is bonus water. I've already finished my water for the day, though. That's why I get to have a fun drink. It also just worked really well with the announcement of the wine glasses going back in stock. Oh, Tammy, I'm so proud of you, of your only one soda a day journey. You are crushing it over there. I'm so excited. Welcome for your first time joining us live. I'm so excited to have you here. Let's get going. What questions do you have? What do you want to chat about tonight? I'm excited to get into it. Also, I feel like I have a very yellow vibe going on here. I got my yellow straw, my yellow nails, my yellow sweatshirt, all the yellow up in here tonight, which I do. I do love yellow, clearly. It's like my secondary color. So good. So good. I don't see any questions yet down in the chat. Oh, there we go. Have you always been a type A personality or something that you learned, taught yourself? So I do think innately I'm a type A personality. I like to have things scheduled. I like to have things planned. But there are pieces of being a type A. There's a whole spectrum, right? It's not just because you're a type A personality or a type B personality doesn't mean that you have all the personality traits of that personality. And there were pieces of it that I actually used to not be. In fact, I had a very messy room as a child. Ask any of my parents. It drove them crazy. It like many a fight over my very, very messy room. And it wasn't until high school that I finally like understood the benefit of keeping my room tidy and finally became someone who had a clean room. Before that, I was a mess of a child. So I think that there are things that may seem like it's a type A personality trait, but not all type A personality people have that. And so if you are not innately that way, you can definitely teach or learn yourself to be that way. So tell us about your dance class. How does it feel? Nothing is open in Toronto yet. I'm so sorry that you guys are still dealing with the shutdowns. It was amazing, y'all. I forgot how much I loved dance. I know a lot of you brought it up last week talking about hobbies, and that dance is one of my hobbies. And I think I didn't think about that, or it didn't feel true because it had been so long since I took a dance class in person. and it just felt so good. Now, it was like 90 something degrees here on Saturday, and it was an outdoor class, so it was hot, but it was still really great. I'm signed up for another class, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, and it just made me very happy. I forgot how much I love to dance. I talk about it a little bit more in the blog that goes up on Friday, as well as show you the clip from the class. The lighting is kind of funky because it was just super bright. There was not a cloud in the sky, and I did my best to get my camera to like figure out what was going on, but it's still kind of blown out. But I include the clip in Friday's vlog. What is the scent of the candle? So, you know what's funny is as I was lighting it, I was like, someone's going to ask me about the candle. So I finished up a candle, the one that was on my desk. I don't remember what it was, but I finished it. And so I went to my candle drawer to grab another candle, and I kept pulling them out, and they were all like winter themed sets. And I know that the last time I placed a big order with Bath and Body Works during the candle sale was in December. And so I'm not surprised that they were all winter scents. But man, by the time I got to the fourth candle and it was still wintry, I was like, forget it. It's going to be a winter candle right now. So it is frosted cranberry, and it's amazing, even though it is totally wintry. But when I blast the AC in here, it kind of works. It kind of works okay. Lynn, there was a replay for Accelerate Your Goals. The link is in the Google Drive, and you could go check out the replay. We had a great conversation about choosing goals based on the season of life that you're in and your current priorities. So having so much fun with this current group in Accelerate Your Goals Round 2. New pier in NYC to open soon. Is it near to you to walk to? Colleen, I don't know. I didn't know there was a new pier opening soon, but my gut tells me no. The majority of the piers that have opened, or the majority of the like stuff that's blown up in New York, has all been on the west side on the water. So my guess is that's where it is. But I don't know that for sure. If it's on the west side, not walkable. On the east side, it is walkable. That's basically the answer. Oh, Melissa, I don't know much about the Lazy Genius book. You're still waiting for your library to call when it's available, but is there a principle of hers that stands out to you the most? So yes, the one especially that applies to goals the most, which you guys have heard me say this so many times, but one of her principles is start small. That's the principle. And everything about that chapter I completely relate to in the things that I talk about when starting small with your goals, and then celebrating that small progress is still progress, and that you are going to more likely reach that finish line and actually accomplish that goal when you start small and you start with that first baby step. And the story that I tell frequently about doing one downward dog, that's from her book, where she wanted to become someone who did yoga regularly, and she started it by doing one downward dog a day until she could add more on. And so that is the principle that resonates with me the most. Yes. In my last video, I talked about getting the daily planner without headers. What will your new headers be? I got it without, like, it's all blank right now. That way I can try things out. Some of them I won't change, like the to-do section or the today, but I'm really trying to play around with that top section and change that into something else. And then the bottom section and that little shaded box. So I just got all of them blank. And that is just where we're at. I feel like I wanted to be the kind of person that could get half blank and half filled in for those sections that I knew I wouldn't change, but I couldn't do that. I either had to get them all customized or like none of them customized. Oh, Jocelyn, I'm so glad that you're loving Fear is My Homeboy. It is, it's right there. I mean, that's just because my books are also in Roy G. Biv order, but well, starting this way. But I also I love that book. I love that book. Yes, decide once is also a really good Lazy Genius principle to go with, is deciding once this is what you're going to do. That one is hard to explain without actually like reading the book. But there are also, if you are waiting on her book, there are some of her podcast episodes where she goes through all of the Lazy Genius principles from start to finish. So the episode about wedding planning, which I know a lot of people probably skipped because they're like, I'm not planning a wedding. That episode doesn't apply to me, but she goes through every single Lazy Genius principle in that episode and applies it to planning a wedding. So even if you're not doing that, it could be valuable to help you learn about the Lazy Genius principles. There's another episode recently that she did that for too. Maybe it was the moving episode. Also, she did that in that episode. I can't remember if that was true or not, but her podcast is a really great place to start and get content from her. And she has over 200 episodes, backlog of all kinds of stuff to listen to. So if you are still wanting to get some of that lazy genius brilliance without the book yet, that's where I would start. Yes. And then, yes, her 200th podcast is the 20 podcasts to go back and listen to, like the best 20 podcasts. It's like, or like the Lazy Genius, like starter kit, something like that. So start there. If you are brand new to the Lazy Genius with whatever those 20 episodes that she lists in that one. Also, the episodes are titled very applicably. So you can easily scroll back and listen to the ones that feel like something you could use in your life. There's a lot of episodes. I know it can be a little bit overwhelming. There's a lot of options, but I mean, I talk about her all the time. Her mindset and the way that she approaches everything is so beneficial to me. And I'm not even a mom. And I know she talks a lot about stuff about moms. That's a great question, Heather. Now that you do a day in the life, how do you decide the day that you're going to film? So I try to do it on a day that there's something exciting to talk about. If at all possible, if there's something going on that I can talk about, that's the day that I choose. Otherwise, I just try to mix it up and make sure that I'm doing, a little bit of a different day each week. And then sometimes I just go with my energy. If I've planned to film a day in the life and there's not really a specific reason, and I wake up that morning and I am just like not feeling it, then I won't. And I won't film that day, and I'll film another day, and I have however many more options to film before the week is up. That's one of the reasons the day in the lives, I guess that would be the plural version of that. The day in the life videos are really working for me versus the weekly vlogs were, because the weekly vlogs, I felt this pressure to pick up the camera every single day. And then on days that I just wasn't in the headspace to do it, it was just this like conflict inside of me. And now that I just pick one day each week and I do that whole day from start to finish, it just allows me to go with my energy flow a lot better than it did before. And so that's why it's really working for me. I also just feel like I can dig deeper a little bit on things when I do it that way versus when I do the weekly vlogs, it is just sort of more of a highlight reel or things every now and then throughout the day. And then there's certain part of my days that I would just always skip when I did the weekly vlog style. So they're working for me, but I appreciate the question. Molly, this is a great question. Struggling with my daily to-do list, putting too much on and having a ton to carry over. Any tips? So what I have learned with to-do lists is most of the time we are not actually scheduling time to do those things. And it can feel overwhelming to take your to-do list, estimate how long each of those items is going to take, and then actually block time for it in your planner or in your calendar. You feel like you're being way too rigid, but the nice part about that is you are being more realistic. Because what I used to do is I would plan my life and plan my days, and it was like, oh, I'm free, I'm going to schedule something. And then that day I would have all these other things on my to-do list that I wanted to do, but no scheduled time to actually get them done. And then they would never happen. So now what I try to do a good job of, if you've watched any of my daily plan with me, is things that are going to take more than 5 minutes, get scheduled. Like they get a time block on my calendar to actually get them done. And then that is put into one section of my daily planner. The to-do list section of my daily planner is reserved only for things either that are 5-minute tasks or tasks that I am completely 100% okay with not getting to today. And if it's more than 5 minutes, I can write it there, but it's at least earmarked in a place, and then I can go add it to my calendar later. But making sure that anything that's on my main important to-do list has a time block in my day is the key to getting them done. The other tip that I've heard a lot of people that work for a lot of people is picking your top 3. And those are the 3 things you're going to get to, and making sure you're prioritizing those, and then the rest of it can wait. Hopefully one of those resonates with you. Hoping to land a promotion at work. I would love to hear your interview tips. Ooh, Kristen, I don't know that I'm the person to give interview tips. I have been with the same company my entire professional career. I interned at New York Life. I started as an actuary right out of college at New York Life, and I have been there ever since. So I haven't had to interview in a long time. And I do sometimes help with interviewing on the other side of things, but it's mostly internal, except for the summer intern, but that's just a way different caliber. So I have somebody that I will recommend to you. I will leave her YouTube channel link down below, and she's a great resource. She's kind of a career coach. We're in the same public speaking mastermind together, and her YouTube channel might be a good place for you to start with. Like, she does a lot of like LinkedIn, resume, interview, those kinds of tips. Sammy, I don't know if the first part of your question went away. I just see the like asterisk and the word stuck, and then sorry about the power sheets. I don't know if there was another comment. I don't see it. Hey, I have only been out of school for less than a week, and I'm already out of my routine and struggling with sleep. Any advice? Baby steps back into the routine. It is your summer routine is likely, I'm obviously not a teacher, so I don't completely understand where you're coming from. And also, you should likely give yourself a lot of time to relax and unwind from the year that you've likely had. So if you need to take that time, like take that time. But in terms of getting back into a routine, and this can apply to anybody who was in one type of routine and now you're getting into a different one, if there's a shift in the season of life that you're in, or you just got back from vacation, or you're just picking up routines again, whatever that looks like, pick one routine and focus on that one as your priority. And even within that routine, maybe even pick one step to start with. So if what is really important to you right now is sleep, then maybe it's your evening routine is where you need to start. And then what pieces of your evening routine are really going to make a difference in making sure you get that good night's sleep, and working on those one step at a time, and then building that routine back up to something that works for this new season of life that you're in. Hope that helps. Colleen, your habit tracking is filling up your to-do stuff. It's hard to separate sometimes. Absolutely. I definitely have to be conscious of the habits, especially the ones I put on my power sheets. If they're going to be time-intensive habits, I am going to have to set that time aside every single day. And so I need to keep that in mind when I'm picking my habits for the month. It can be tough to separate. Elise, what are you doing here? Go back to the beach. Go back to the beach. Just get out of here. I'm very jealous of all the beach photos. I could use with my toes in the sand. I'm excited for our trip to Oregon and to have like a week to unwind and be in nature and relax. But I also like kind of wish we were going on a beach vacation. I mean, I know there is a beach in Oregon, but we're not going to be there. We're going to be in Central Oregon. So no beach for us. But I think our Airbnb has a pool. I don't know what the weather is going to be like, though. I don't know if it's going to be warm enough for me to get into said pool. I mean, I know it's July, but in Oregon, what's the weather like there? Anybody there and can share with me? I know I can Google it. Oh, you're getting ready for dinner. Okay. Well, then you can come hang out for a little bit, but then you need to go back to the beach and back to your vacation. You were typing while holding a baby. Oh my gosh, Sammy, do not apologize. You did all the prep work at the end of last year to be ready for this year, but since having a baby, your life has slipped a full 180 and you're feeling stuck. Okay, I don't know why I clicked the question away. I want to keep the question up while I talk, but I'm trying to make sure my head is over it. So what you put in the prep work, not the goals that you chose, but all the answers to your prep work, that is all still true. All of those things are still important to you, and all of that still holds true. So what I would encourage you to do, especially as we're coming up on this quarterly refresh, is I would kind of skim back through your prep work and just see some of the things that you highlighted, what is important to you, and some of those things may still be important to you. And then when you do your quarterly refresh, pick new annual goals that align with the season of life that you're in. It might mean that you just are cutting them down, and maybe instead of 8 goals, you have 4. It might mean that you're changing the wording slightly to be something different now that you have a little one, or maybe you have a new goal entirely or you're only going to pick one, or whatever it is. But take the quarterly refresh to not even just like, I don't know, I think I want to keep my annual goals the same, but really go back through the prep work and read your responses, but thinking about your current state of life. There are a lot of questions in there that it feels repetitive when you do it every year, because your answers are likely the same every year, because things that were important to you last year are likely still important to you this year. And I believe that that's still true for you 6 months later. It's just what you can get done in the time that you have is going to likely be less. I've never had a newborn, so I don't know that for sure. But my gut is that you just need to go back, look at what's important to you, and then pick 1 or 2, maybe 3 things that you want to work on for the second half of the year. Maybe reword them, tweak them a little bit, but you can still use the prep work and just maybe rewrite new annual goals. There are a ton of lakes and rivers in Oregon if I'm craving the beach. Okay, Megan, I appreciate that. The hard part for me too, pros and cons. I'm not planning any of this trip. I'm just showing up. And that is awesome and relaxing and freeing to some degree, but it's also kind of like, I'm not really, I don't know that I'm going to get to do any of the things I want to do. Do New Yorkers not go to Coney Island? We went on our trip and felt like tourists. No, not really. It's, for one, it's far. Like it is all the way at the tip end of Brooklyn, and it is a long train ride to get there. It would probably be like an hour and a half train ride just to get out there. Also, it is crowded with tourists usually. I've been twice in my time in New York, and once was when I was an intern. Your son and daughter-in-law were just in Oregon and they had to wear jackets. Dang it. Yes, Janet, that's also a great reminder. Cultivate What Matters is having refresh sessions. Whoa, I cannot say that word. At the end of the month. I will leave it linked down below. It is Monday, June 28th. So you do have to take time off of work if you work a full-time job. It's just a half of a day though. There's 2 options. The morning time slot is for, I haven't done my prep work yet, and I want to get started with whether it's the 6-month power sheets or the full year and you just never did the prep work. That's the morning session. The afternoon session is, I already did my prep work. I just need kind of a new umph. I need some motivation. I need some refresh. And that's the one that I'm signed up for. And I know a lot of the members of our community are signed up for that afternoon session, Monday, June 28th. Oh my gosh, Christine, you set a goal to run more, but due to the cicadas, you'll be training inside. Whew, those cicadas, man. I don't think the ones that are out this summer are here in New York, but I do remember a summer in Chicago where they were bad. Like they covered the grounds, like people's driveways you couldn't see because they were covered in cicadas bad. It was gross. Oregon weather is the best. I'm sure the weather is beautiful. I just don't think I'm going to get in the pool. I don't think so. Central Oregon is high desert, completely different than the coast. Okay. All right, Maggie. Well, maybe I will be getting in the pool. I just need to Google it. I think I just need to Google where we're staying, what is the weather at the beginning of July, and plan accordingly. I'm excited. I'm excited to explore a new state. I've never been to Oregon. And I've heard lots of great things about the state and then the city that we're going to. I'm all caught up on questions. What other questions do y'all have, or topics that you just want to chat about? If you don't want to phrase it in a question form, if you just want to be like topic blank. And as always, if you are watching the replay and you have a question that you would like me to answer, feel free to leave it in the comments of this video, and I will either answer it in the comments or I will answer it next week. If it's more of a like, I need to verbalize the answer. The Hudson Valley is the closest to the cicadas are to NYC. Yeah, so we don't have this set of cicadas right now. But there's various cicadas. What am I reading right now? The nonfiction books that I talked about last week, same 2 nonfiction books I'm still reading. The fiction book I'm reading now is that the Secret Life of Addie LaRue. Is that what it is? The one that Cindy did for her book club in like January or February. And I could put myself on the wait list in January or February, and there was like over 300 people on the wait list, and I finally got it. So I've got to finish it quickly because I have to give it back quickly. Like when there's that long of a wait list, I think I only get it for 2 weeks. So my shirt says, "Here comes the sun." This from Old Navy. Oh my gosh. I thought the door was closed and it wasn't. And now Charlie is in here wiggling the computer. Okay. Sorry. What is my favorite summer treat? Oh, Amy, I feel like I do have more ice cream in the summer, but I also feel like I've had a lot more ice cream in the last few years living with Sam. He's a big ice cream person. I can't think of anything specific that I like only have in the summer. Okay. Come on. Sorry, Charlie. A little bit all over the place. I guess I maybe didn't mention it. I'm going to Bend, Oregon is where I'm staying. Any tips for keeping a space clean after a deep cleaning? Kelly, I wish I had tips on this. This is not my area of expertise. Cleaning is one of the goals that I am always working on. And it's not my strength. So I don't have a really good answer for this other than to give yourself the space to know that it's not going to be that perfect all the time. Like the cleanliness that you got it to when you deep cleaned it, it's not going to stay that way forever. And just put it in your calendar to clean it to ongoing. Maybe make a list of all the spaces that you deep cleaned. And instead of waiting for another time to deep clean it, maybe pick like one space a month and do it that way so that you keep up with it rather than have to go through all of it again. That might be something I would try. Rachel, this is an interesting topic. Would love to talk a little bit more about people going back to work, how to prepare, tips and tricks on rebuilding, etc. So what's funny is I was actually on a podcast today. I was interviewed for the Plan on Purpose, that's her title, Plan on Purpose podcast with Charisse. And we talked about this exact topic. She had this exact question, such a good question. So in a couple of weeks when that podcast comes out, there will be a lot more that we both talk about in terms of getting back to work. What I would tell you is when it is time to transition to back to work for anybody transitioning, whether you're doing it now or in a couple of months, try not to overwhelm yourself with a bunch of other goals and things that you want to work on while you are also working on this major transition to get back to work. So when that time comes, I'm going to be really mindful of all the other goals I set because that transition is going to be such a big one that I will be trying to adjust to. In terms of a morning routine, I think just start thinking about which pieces of your morning routine are vital that you don't want to give up and which pieces you might be okay giving up, because likely you're either going to have to cut the morning routine or get up earlier in order to get it done before work is what I'm assuming. That's what would be the case for me. I either have to cut pieces or get up earlier. And so just starting to think about what that looks like, which one of those options is going to work better for me, and then kind of go from there. Loretta, feeling super overwhelmed right now. I feel like if I am doing good at work with to-dos, I have piles of home tasks, not making progress on goals, and vice versa. Sometimes there are just times in life where it feels like all of your attention is on one of those things, whether it is home responsibilities, work responsibilities, or time to focus on yourself and your goals. And in an ideal world, we would evenly split our time all the time between those different tasks. But that is just not the scenario that we likely live in. And so if you are just in a super busy place right now, focusing on work to-dos, I would kind of let some of the other things go and know that they'll still be there and you can work on them when you get back. Otherwise, try and pick what is the priority in each of those sections. Pick one thing that's important in each of those categories. Focus on getting that one thing done so that you feel accomplished, and then let the rest of it go. The other big tip here, which is really hard, is to ask for help, especially with home tasks. Oh, Melissa, you tried reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and it just couldn't hold your attention. So if I don't finish it before I need to give it back, you can mail your copy. I appreciate that. That's a very, very sweet offer. Hopefully I'll be able to finish it. It's a fiction book, and hopefully by just reading a night. It is a big book though. I wouldn't say that I'm into it yet. Like, I'm reading it. I think this will be my third or fourth night reading it, but I wouldn't say I'm like into it where I want to pick it up during my like not scheduled reading time. Yeah, I guess I didn't shut the door all the way. She got that door open for sure. Christine, Bend is beautiful. I would pack lightweight sweater shirts for July, but also summer clothes and nothing heavy. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that tip so much. Kate, I've been thinking about starting a hobby business for quite some time. I'm finally in a good spot to start. However, I'm very overwhelmed with where to start. Any thoughts, advice, etc. So my first question is, when you say a hobby business, like you're going to turn your hobby into a business? Because in my mind, once it's a business, it's no longer a hobby. Now it's a business, which is fine. And definitely something that a lot of us have done. But once it's a business, it's no longer really a hobby. That said, regardless of what that situation is, when it comes to starting something like this, the first step is always to break that goal down. Make a list of all the tasks and all the things that you're going to need to do related to that to get it started. What are all the things that you need to do? Write them all down, break it down into a small step as possible. I have 2 different videos on breaking down your goals that I'll link for you if you haven't watched them yet. That might help you like brainstorm some ideas on how to break down this goal. But that is where I would start, is getting the list of all the different things that you're going to need to do to get started, and then schedule time to do those different things. Put it in your calendar, put it in your planner, and make it a priority that you are setting aside time to work on those individual steps. Thank you for Googling that for me, Erin. Highs of 82 and lows of 47. That does not really sound like cool weather. Kind of like what I just said. I've always heard that you don't need to turn every hobby into income, but on the other side, you also hear benefits of multiple streams of income. So my take on this is multiple streams of income is very important, especially if you own your own business and you need that extra backup or that support. But at the same time, we should always have hobbies that we do that are just for fun. And so if you turn your hobby into a business, awesome. That's amazing that you are able to do that. Let's find a new hobby. Let's get something in your life that can be a hobby and something that you just do for fun. I do think there's a lot of pressure in the world about turning hobbies into businesses. And I don't think it's all bad. Like, I think if you can do that and you have that opportunity, that's awesome. But then let's also find another way for you to have a hobby and do some self-care and some things in your life just for fun. Tammy, this is such a sweet comment. Caught up on your videos today. Inspired to do home task immediately after work again. Thank you. And for all of your comments. You always comment on the videos, and I appreciate that so, so much. You found the audiobook of Addie LaRue. Loretta, can I ask you, does the audiobook make it very clear what time period we're in? Because that's one of the struggles that I'm having. I find myself, I keep having to flip back to like the start of the chapter to know what time period we're in. And that makes things a little bit confusing for me. Oh, I am going to be traveling for the majority of the summer, and I already feel anxious knowing I will be behind on other goals and tasks. Any advice for goals while traveling or not working on them? So first off, the fact that you even put it in quotes makes me know that you know what the answer is and that you're not behind. You're not behind. This is arbitrary. Like, you getting behind is that is your mind telling you that you're going to be behind, and you're not going to be behind. Those goals will still be there when you get back. It's not that big of a deal. I would let them go and be like, when I get back from traveling, enjoy your summer off of working and then pick up those goals back when it's time to get back. Now, I know that's easier said than done, because once you get back to school in the fall, there's a lot of other work to be done. But I think that, especially as a teacher, taking that time for yourself over the summer to not focus on goals can be really, really valuable. If you do want to work on them while you're traveling, I would pick one that you're going to work on, and I would very small. very small increments and just kind of let it go. But I also think it's okay if you want to give yourself permission and just not do anything. Yes, it announces the year and location at the start of each chapter. Okay. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but that's like the part that I'm struggling with. But I'm also not really good at audiobooks. Any suggestions for a good weight loss food exercise journal? Monique, this is a great question and one that I have struggled with for a very long time. And my biggest struggle with finding a weight loss food exercise journal that worked for me was that all of the ones that are out there seem to have at least one or two categories of something that didn't work for me. Like there was something that they wanted me to track that I didn't want to track. And so every one that I tried, it didn't seem to fit me very well. And that's why I decided to kind of like create my own. And all I did was I used the layout from a plum paper planner and I made the categories what I wanted them to be. So that would always be my number one recommendation is pick one of the bazillion plum paper planner layouts that exist. And whatever categories you want to track related to food, weight loss, and exercise, put those in there. And it's the food, weight loss, health journal that I've stuck with the longest is doing it that way because all of the preset structured ones, none of them worked for me. Kelly, was my rooftop dance the one that Chanel from the Today Show was at? No, I don't think so. I don't know. You did the audiobook for Addie LaRue as well, and you found it easy to tell the timeline, except when they announced the location is New York City, your mind automatically went to Hamilton. Oh, that's funny. I'm always like, where are they? I'm trying to figure out where they are in New York. Claire, tips for keeping focus on monthly goals at the end of the month, finding it hard to avoid thinking forward to the next month and give on actions or want to get started on next month's task. I get that. I have completely been there. One of the ways that helps with this is waiting until later to work on your next month's goals. Like you don't even start brainstorming next month's goals until you've finished this month's goals. That's one option. The second option is if you feel like you're in that mindset, sometimes it's okay to just lean into it. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll pick one thing on my power sheets that I need to make sure I get done by the end of the month. And then the rest of them, I just go ahead and push off to the next month. And then I have a new month, fresh month that I can start with. If you find that it's happening really early, like in the early 20s, then I would figure out a way to maybe push working on your goals. If it's kind of the last couple days of the month, I feel like that's totally normal. The other thing for me that I find that really impacts this and whether I lean into it or get out of it is what day of the week is the new month. If the first of the month is like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I am for sure already in that month by that Monday. Like I want that Monday, the 28th, 29th, 30th to be like a fresh start of a Monday. I don't want to wait till the following Monday. So then I'm okay with it. And I totally lean into it. But if the first of the month is like a Monday or a Sunday or Saturday, I try to not lean into it. Feeling lost without a weekly planner, but not sure why I need it when I have a daily in my Google Cal. I hate to commit if I don't know what my looks like in the fall. Thoughts, maybe it's FOMO. So Casey, I will tell you, I was sort of feeling the same thing. And I was sort of feeling a little bit like I needed something that kind of also merged work and home to kind of know how much time I need to get ready in the morning for things and whatnot. And so hang on, I ordered and have been using the Cultivate What Matters weekly calendar thingy. I can't show you mine because it's got work stuff on it, but I've been basically just filling in like the way that I used to do the weekly like Plan With Me. I also love that this only has Monday through Friday. And so I'll do like, what am I going to work on Plan With Laken in the morning before work? What are my work commitments for that day that might impact anything? And then what am I going to work on in the evening after work? And I kind of just have been mapping. And then if I have any scheduled things, like accelerate your goals, lattes with Laken. We have Patreon co-working tomorrow. It's a busy week for me, but being able to see that at a glance. And then I just put this on my magnetic. I rip it off, right? And then I put it on my magnetic. Maybe try a weekly pad. Maybe it's not this one. Maybe it's there. I know a lot of different companies. If you need something, this is massive, but if you want to try something smaller, I know that other companies have kind of a smaller option, maybe trying that just to give you that weekly kind of map, but without committing to like a full-blown planner with the coil, maybe. Kelly, I guess it's possible that she was there. But I know that a lot of people are opening back up classes and dancing, but now I'm going to go look at her Instagram after we're done. Ooh, Tammy, with the magic question, what would happen if I gave myself the same effort the last 5 days as I do the first 5? That's amazing. I love that. I love that mindset. Do you feel like you're duplicating work with the pad on your daily, or you like the time looking at it? So I don't feel like I'm duplicating because I'm not writing out all of the routines, like everything that's time blocked in my Google Cal. I'm not writing AM routine. I'm not writing lunchtime routine. I'm also getting a little bit more specific. Like sometimes in my Google Cal, it just says like plan with Laken. And so on this, I will get specific going like into the week. I will get specific. And then I like seeing my work stuff here and not having to click over between like my personal calendar, Google Cal, my work Outlook calendar. I like that this is right there and I can just see it at a glance. So when I plan my day, I glance up and look at this to start my day. And it doesn't take that long. So it doesn't feel like I am wasting a bunch of time. Not that it took me that long to plan in a planner with stickers, but it took me longer. And so that felt like not only a waste of time, but also a waste of stickers. And again, also, I don't want to do that for Saturday and Sunday. I like, it has like a box for the weekend, but I like that I don't have to worry about Saturday and Sunday and filling those in. So that's kind of why it works well for me. We can text more about this if you want. We can talk more about it, but it's been really working well for me. Ooh, Kimberly, I don't have the time or room to decorate my planner, but can't bring myself to throw out your crafting finds. You're in New York boroughs and find it difficult to find a place to donate planner supplies. Yeah, I also have been finding it difficult to find a place to donate planner supplies. I actually mail mine to a teacher friend in a different state, and she uses them or donates them to a club at her school. That is what I found that works for me. If it's anything that's time sensitive, like it's got dates, I give it away in my Patreon Facebook group. And then like extra supplies, I send to her. I do feel like in New York, I don't really know of any other places to drop them off. You can also just go to a Facebook group and just be like, does anybody want this, and send it to them. But I feel you on not wanting it to take up space anymore. I got rid of a lot of stuff when we moved. And now that I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff, I feel like I'm a lot more mindful about the stuff that I bring in. Like I'm a lot more careful about the things that I purchase now that I've gotten rid of a bunch of stuff. I really want to shut the door, you guys, because it's really driving me nuts, but I don't want to get up and go shut it while we're talking. I kind of thought Sam would come over and shut it because I'm loud. You can probably hear him. But he has not. So, oh well. Oh my gosh, I can hear him. I can't get up, you guys. I have very short shorts on right now. Ooh, this is a fun question. What are some favorite life improving purchases? Your Getty Tumblr, your Book of the Month subscription, and your Routinary app. Oh yeah, upgrading my Routinary app to the upgraded one for sure. My Hatch might change my life in terms of sleeping. My Hatch. This is really specific to somebody who has a YouTube channel, but this stand that I use for my camera on my phone, I use this every day, all day, all the time. Let me think. I feel like I do share all of these things in my favorites videos. So if you watch my favorites videos, I feel like they all end up in there at some point. But that's a fun question. If anyone else wants to answer in the comments, either in the live chat or in the comments, if you're watching the replay, what was your favorite number one life improving purchase? Let's maybe even make it a little bit easier in the last year. Molly, struggling to stay off my phone at night in bed. Any tips for keeping those habits or commitments to myself? You live alone, so no extra accountability. So one tip is that your phone has the ability to go to nighttime. I don't know if you have an iPhone. If you have an iPhone, you have the ability to go to like nighttime settings, and then all your apps get grayed out, and it's just an extra step. It's not, you can still get into your apps, but it makes you think, makes you pause for a second. I would also start small and start with 1 day a week. Say, no phone Fridays. I just like alliterations. I'm not going to bring my phone into bed on Fridays, and start with that. And then up it to 2 days, and then 3 days, and then build it up that way. You can I'm also not above rewards. So if you don't bring your phone to bed for a month, then you get to buy something for yourself, or you get to go do something for yourself. And just reminding yourself of why it's important to you. What's the purpose? Like, is it to get better sleep? Is it to spend less time on your phone and do other things that you like to do? I know the Lazy Genius, and I feel like I talk about her a lot, but in her podcast about screen time, adult screen time, she talks about like the number of hours that she spent on Instagram and how many books she could have read in that time, and thinking about it that way, and just reminding yourself of those reasons why. Lynn, that's a great suggestion. Nursing home and assisted living facilities would be very grateful for scrapbook art supplies. That's cool. Finally, figuring out that Libby library audiobook app has been a great addition for you. I have never even tried this. I know everyone talks about Libby, and I've never tried it. I do have my library. Like, I could download books if I check them out digitally from my library. I do still like to go pick up the physical books, only because then it gets me out of the apartment and makes me walk to the library, and then I get to hold a physical book. The only time I do digital books is usually when I'm traveling, because I'm not going to take all the fiction books with me. And I never know how many I'm going to need. So that's when I like my Kindle. I like having my Kindle. I guess, what's the difference between Libby and me just like borrowing books from the New York Public Library and downloading them on my phone? Or is it the same? There's just more options, or different options than what I can get from the library. Hi, Rebecca. I haven't seen you here in a long time. Hello. It's good to see your, I almost said your face. It's not your face. It's your name. It's good to see your name. I love this, Colleen. I schedule my screen time. Wednesday at 6 is YouTube. Morning is Insta. Twitter at 8. I love that. HEB grocery pickup. I do think grocery pickup changed a lot of people's lives this year. That has made a difference. For me, it's like, without a car, I might as well just go do the shopping myself. But your Kindle has really helped you accomplish your reading goals. Just the plain Kindle, not the Fire. The Fire had too many other apps and distractions. Yeah, Corey, I actually keep my Kindle on airplane mode at all times. Saves battery. I don't need the internet unless I'm in the moment downloading a book. So I just keep it on airplane mode. And for whatever reason, I don't feel the need to like go to the other apps ever. Okay, so it's the same. It's connected to your local library and my normal library card, but the catalog is usually larger, so there's more borrowing capacity. Okay, so it's kind of the same thing, but maybe more selection. I don't find that there's always a super long hold on audiobooks and digital books on the New York Public Library, just on physical books. Best purchase, a little hook that attaches to the headrest in your car, keeps your purse and everything in it from flying around on the car. That is so cool, Monique. I obviously don't drive or have a car, so that does not something that impacts me, but I could see how that would be very frustrating. Is it for like the front seat, like, and it hooks on and your purse sits on the front seat, or is it for the back of your seat, like the driver's seat? Use Libby for audiobooks specifically. Otherwise, you check out physical books. Okay. Y'all, we've talked about how I don't do audiobooks. I'm not good at audiobooks. Oh, I'm so bad. Oh, Amanda, this is cool. I try to do the same book on audio and physical at the same time so I can read it in different ways no matter what I'm doing. How do you keep up with where you're at in the book? That's amazing. I think you mentioned Sam grew up in New York. How did he learn to drive? Just curious, because I've heard a lot of people in New York don't learn to drive. Sam did not grow up in New York. if I ever said that, I did not mean to say that. Sam actually also grew up in Texas. That's one of the things I love about our story is that we're both originally from Texas, in two different places. He's originally from Houston and I'm from San Antonio. And then we both went to the University of Texas and we're only 6 months apart. We're a grade apart, but we're only 6 months apart. We likely crossed paths at school, but never actually met in college and moved to New York separately. And then we met at an alumni event for UT here in New York. So I love that. I may have mentioned that his family is from up here. Like his dad is from Brooklyn, but he himself is from Texas. So, but it is true. It is very accurate that a lot of New Yorkers do not learn how to drive ever. You're right. I did mention that because that is true. He did live in the Heights. That was the first neighborhood he lived in when he moved to the city. And that's where he lived when we met until he moved in with me. So yes, I did say that. He's just not from here either. If you're reading on Kindle and Audible at the same time, they will automatically sync. Well, that's magical. And just technology is just the best. Have I talked any about my bachelorette party? Rebecca, I have not, with the exception of when I posted on Instagram that I finally have a countdown for it. So we are going to Disney World. That is just what I've always wanted for a bachelorette party. I don't know. It just feels like Disney ears with a veil is just what I want. I am not involved in the planning, which is really, 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 really hard and difficult to let it go. But it is my mom and my sister who are my maid and matron of honor, not in that order. My mom's the one who's married, and then 2 other friends who are helping them plan it, and just letting it go. But I'm sure they will do a wonderful, wonderful job, and it will be very magical and absolutely perfect. But that's all I know. I don't really know anything else about it except the dates and the location that I'm showing up to. So I'm excited. Yes, Disney World. I know I'm so excited, Tammy. I'm excited. I'm not even a part of it. But you provided the recommendation for the Disney travel agent because I needed a new one. So I passed her name on to my mom and said, here, this is the person to reach out to. And it's time for us to get Disney tickets. We still have plenty of time. But I'm so excited. Oh, Nadine, this is a fun story. When you were living in New York City, you didn't learn to drive until your early 30s. That's amazing. We need interviews with my mom again about her planning process for the bachelorette party. You want my mom to share? Yeah, that's fun. I don't know when I'm going to get her back on the live. Maybe when I'm home. I'm going to be home in July. Maybe I can get her to join that live. I'm going to go, we're headed to Chicago in July just to visit, just because it's summer in the city. And my parents are doing this like boat timeshare, I guess is what it's called. Like there's a boat for the summer and all these couples like went in on it together and they get like 10 rides the whole summer or something like that. So we're coming in for a weekend to do the boat. And I will be there during a Wednesday. So because it's super cheap to fly on Tuesdays. So I'm going Tuesday to Tuesday because it's just cheap and I can work from there. So, oh my gosh, your bachelorette was a surprise party. Ooh. At least I know where and when, and I gave a couple things that I like for sure want to do while we're there, but I don't know much about the order of things. I'm excited though. I'm super excited. It should be fun. I'm excited to finally get back into wedding planning and feeling like it's, it's happening. It's actually happening. It feels like it's exciting again. It wasn't for a while, but it is now. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe it's already 5 till 7. Time flies when you are having fun. Let me ask you my final question. If you have any other final questions, you can drop them in the chat. But I want to ask you, what is one thing that you will do this week? Not that you want to do, not that you should do. One thing that you will do this week to make progress on your goals. It can be very small. It doesn't have to be huge to make an impact. But what is one thing that you will get done to help move the needle forward in whatever goal it is that you are working on? Always so excited to see the answers come into this one. It's always fun. And if you are watching the replay, let us know too. I think I say that sometimes, but if you're watching the replay, let us know in the comments of the video, what are you doing to make progress on your goals? Sharing just that one baby step can help hold you accountable to actually following through on that. Eating 10, I started to say it and clicked on the wrong thing. Eating 10 fruits and veggies a week. Amanda, that's a great one. I would love to see how you're tracking that. Actually look at your power sheets so you know what your goals are. You know, keeping your power sheets front and center makes a huge, huge difference. Do one workout this week because it's been a while. Rebecca, 1 is better than 0. Doing 1 is better than 0. Erin, creating a pain management plan. It's a good one. Getting your house listed. Oh, that's why you have to keep it clean, Kelly, because you're listing your house. Oh my gosh, your question makes so much more sense now. Follow your screen time limit on your phone tonight at least. I feel that. Till your garden. Oh, Kelly, I love that one. Kimberly, ask for help. I'm so proud that you commented that. It can be so difficult. This is so hard. It's so hard for us to do. Asking for help is so tough, but it can make such a difference. So super big kudos to you on that one. You will only have 1 Dr. Pepper this week and the rest is all water. Shannon, that's amazing. If the rain stops, planting the seeds to finish your garden. So many gardeners in here. Pre-plan some July things in your new Happy Planner. That's fun and exciting. Unpacking and groceries and planning. Bailey, yeah, getting back into the groove for you. Spending 5 minutes on each of the online courses as you have a few to catch up on. That's a good one. Packing. Oh, I'm so excited for you and all your travels. Film 2 videos for YouTube. You've got this, Heather. You've totally got this. You all have this. Everything that you shared is just one small thing. Put it in your planner, check it off somewhere, and make it a priority because doing that one small action will help create the momentum for you to keep working on your goals. One more I see that just jumped in. Do a 10-minute daily arm workout. I'm working on my arm strength too. I'm trying to do push-ups every day to work on that. It's hard, but my arms are feeling it, but it's working. It's working. I can see the improvement coming along. So, y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with me live. If you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up button before you head out, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday focused on helping you achieve your goals. Have a great night, everybody.